Hi, this is Rev Ed with today's Back Porch Devotional from Psalm 39. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I will guard my mouth with a muzzle, so long as the wicked are in my presence. I was mute and silent. I held my peace to no avail, and my distress grew worse. My heart became hot within me. As I mused, the fire burned. And then I spoke with my tongue. O Lord, make me know my end, and what is the measure of my days. Let me know how fleeting I am. Behold, you have made my days a few handbreadths, and my lifetime is as nothing before you. Surely all mankind stands as a mere breath. Surely man goes about as a shadow. Surely for nothing they are in turmoil. A man heaps up wealth and does not know who will gather. And now, O Lord, for what do I wait? My hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Do not make me the scorn of a fool. I am mute. I do not open my mouth, for it is you who have done it. Remove your stroke from me. I am spent by the hostility of your hand. When you discipline a man with rebukes for sin, you consume like a moth what is dear to him. Surely all mankind is a mere breath. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and give ear to my cry. Hold not your peace at my tears, for I am a sojourner with you, a guest, like all my fathers. Look away from me that I may smile again before I depart and am no more. This is another one of the Psalms of David when he was in deep distress. And we don't know the circumstances behind this psalm. But it's obvious that he's wrestling with all kinds of things. He's going through some kind of affliction, and he knows it's the result of sinfulness. And I think it's interesting and noteworthy that he says, as he begins, that he's going to guard his mouth and his tongue as long as the wicked are in his presence. There is a perfectly acceptable time and place to cry out to God in frustration and even anger. But David knows not to do this in the presence of unbelievers. He knows not to say something that will disparage God in the hearing of those who do not know God. Certain conversations are for you and God alone. And this is what David is working toward. He knows better than to give vent to words which may trip over into blasphemy. He wants to pick a time and a place to speak with God. And so he does in private. And he says, make me know my end. And what he means by that is he doesn't want to know exactly how he's going to die or even when, but he's just asking to be reminded of how short life is, how fleeting it is. It's as a mere breath. And he says that people lay up money and don't know who's going to enjoy it. This is just plain wisdom. We can take a good look at the world around us. And whether you live 80 or 90 or 100 years, in the larger scheme of things, that's still not much time. Our lives are just a fraction of a moment on this earth. And David is concerned that his life needs to be right with God for however long it is. He says, what am I waiting for? He says, my hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. David is asking that for whatever time that he has on this earth, that it be spent in fellowship and reconciliation with God. He says, remove your stroke from me. I am spent by the hostility of your hand. He knows that whatever trouble has come into his life has come through the hands of God first. And that, as painful as it may be, is a lot more comforting than thinking that some impersonal universe has just allowed you to be caught up in the mechanics of impersonal physics and chemistry and the accidents of science. If God is involved in it, even though it is deeply painful, you can trust it, and you can trust God. So David is asking that he be given the wisdom that comes along with recognizing that time is short. You may have heard me mention this before, but in the 7th chapter of John's Gospel, Jesus has ticked off the religious leaders again, and John says that they tried to lay hands on him to arrest him, but they couldn't because his hour had not yet come. And what we have to grasp is that our hour has already been written down in the book. In fact, David wrote in Psalm 139, I think, "O Lord, all the days of my life were written in your book before one of them came to be." Each one of us already has a date on the calendar when we will go home to the Lord. The Lord knows it, but we don't. And so the question is, will we live our lives in humility and faithfulness, seeking the wisdom of God for our life, repenting when we have sinned, and striving to do what glorifies Him? Or are we going to waste it, laying up treasure on earth instead of treasure in heaven? He says this beautiful phrase. He says, "I am a sojourner with you." We are aliens on this earth, but we are not aliens alone. This world is not our home, but we are going home to the Lord, who is with us while we are traveling in this land, and He will be with us all the way to our eternal home with Him. That is great comfort, and we can take blessing from it as we share this truth with one another and speak hope into the lives of other people who may be struggling. Know that God is with you. Know that whatever has come into your life has come by His direction or by His permission, and therefore you can trust it. Know that until your hour has come, you are invincible. And when that hour has come, nothing can stop it. So we should strive to live our lives in the wisdom of the light of God's Word and walking in ways that are pleasing to Him, knowing that He is with us. He is a fellow traveler in this world as Jesus traveled this world. He walks with us, and He will walk with us all the way home. God's blessings be upon you this day.